Coach Marv came in, man. I'm going live. Hopefully, I'm going live on X this time, and I'm just gonna go live right quick for I just want to get a message across. I know my fellow YouTube content creators are probably cranking up to go live, but I just want to get a message across, and I want to get this message across because I'm seeing a lot of videos. I'm getting a lot of discussion, a lot of questions, and do we remember the plan? Do we remember what we said at the end of last season? Do we remember how we talked about um, that our defense had to get better? Do we remember that we talked about we needed to add a running game to make the game easier for Dak? That's what you're always supposed to do for your quarterback. Do we remember 3 years ago or 4 years ago when we played San Francisco the first time when we had Mari Cooper, a CD Lamb, a Dalton Schultz, a younger, explosive Tony Pollard, a even little bit younger Ezekiel Elliott, not at the point he was at the last time, but he had a little bit more juice. When we had a Tyron Smith, they had more juice. A Zach Martin that had more juice. We had a Michael Gallup that was a little bit younger before the knee injury. We had a Cedric Wilson that was a guy that we considered to being probably a good fourth wide receiver. And we got to the point we said, man, we need to run the ball a little bit more to be have a physical presence. And now we got Pickens. And the word on the street is CD Lamb says it's 2 number ones. That's good to say. But what would have been better to say is don't fall for the bait when people actually do is it a number one, number two. Just say we're going to be a great combination. But you fell for the bait when you said it's going to be 2 number ones. Because you set it in stone for him to think he's the number one. And there is not going to be always a pecking order. And if you get in this season trying to make both of your receivers happy, it might be detrimental to your football team. I'm here to say we can't fault. We got to remember the plan and remember that we got to have a physical presence. And I think everybody talking about running the ball. I don't think we understand what a physical presence is. If you get one-dimensional and you get finessed in your offense, when we play against the better teams, they're going to shut us down. In the bigger games, if you're one-dimensional, you're going to get shut down. Did we just watch the Super Bowl? It's been 4 Super Bowls that Kansas City Chiefs have played in. 5. No, they played 5. They lost 2, and they won 3. And the 2 that they lost, they went pass happy and didn't run the ball. And they barely scored. If you don't get the little bit of touchdowns they got at the end of the game, they didn't score one touchdown against Tampa Bay. And they threw both of those games, they threw the ball combined almost 100 throwing attempts. The record when Dak Prescott throws the ball and we run the ball, we have a balanced offense, is astronomical. We have had a running back in a playoff have 20 attempts since maybe not even when it in his rookie year. Because we got pass happy against Green Bay. He did. Ezekiel did get 20 carries against Seattle. They won that playoff game. And we still thinking they're forcing us, man. The media, Stephen A. Smith, all them are putting a banana in the tailpipe, fellas. Cowboy Nation. They know what makes us better. You think you're taking some pressure off of Dak Prescott if we say now that you got 2 number 1 wide receivers and now you got to try to keep 2 number 1 wide receivers happy and keep a team balanced and stay on pace? I hear people talking about, man, well, you ain't had no offense like this. We had Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, a Dalton Schultz, a better Tony Pollard, 2 running backs, and just as good probably of an offensive line. And we got in the playoffs against a good defense. Because when you start playing good defense, we're not going to run up and down the field on people. And if we think that we're going to outscore people and run and shoot people to win a championship, it don't happen. You make it name one. This name one, but out of every 10, it's 1 out of every 10. That's what you laying your hat on? Then we're going to be that number 2 out of 11. If it's 1 out of 10, we're going to be the second one. I'm not advocating that we just go out there and just run into a brick wall. But I'm advocating that we have a balanced physical offense. And if we can win a game running the ball, we should be happy doing that. We are creating a monster when we start giving so much credit to a guy and saying he's a number 1. Listen, I'm going to say it again. Pickett's been on my fantasy football team for 3 years. I loved him coming out of Georgia. I think he's one of the most, he's got a chance with his talent. This talent, one of the top wide receivers in the league. But he can't tell nobody he's a number 1. Because we had the crown. It ain't all on your quarterbacks. Is that denigrating him or saying bad things about him or putting him down? That means he's got to earn the stripes. Don't we see that in Dallas, man? That's the problem we got in Dallas. Our team, we don't make our team earn their stripes. As soon as they do something good, we just go overboard. Do we feel that he's going to get in Dallas and any problems he had in Pittsburgh, just because he's in Dallas, it's going to change? Is that saying he's not going to be a good player? Is that saying he's not going to be a great asset for us? Yes, he probably could. But he got to prove that. Because his last stop, he didn't show that type of maturity. And that's not, listen, that's not being harsh. That's the truth. And where he's going to better suit us is being a team player first. And that might be some dirty work. But you didn't draft a guy like Booker that's a physical monster to have him be a dancing bear every day. Do we remember the plan? For the last 4 years, every year after the season over with, everybody talks about, man, we should have ran the ball. Why we didn't run the ball? You get your coach talking about, well, you know, McCarthy, I want to run the ball. As soon as the season get here, it's all of a sudden now we want to be explosive, and now we want to use the pass to open up the run. It's just like I said in my other videos about stopping the run. If you don't have a mentality to be able to physically impose your will on people, if your mentality is to run around people and trick them and think you're going to out athletic them if we in the NFL, when you get to a team that's this is disciplined and is just as talented, you whimper and fall to the wayside. And I'm not telling you something saying, well, hey, well, you know, Coach Marv is just being negative. I know there's going to have some people saying that. But let's look at the seasons. Look at when we get great teams. We lost 2 playoff games to San Francisco within 7 or 8 points. They were grind them out type games. We lost those games. Nobody had no great game. Purdy didn't have no great game. They running back didn't have no great game. But we lost those games. We lost a shoot. We got embarrassed by Green Bay. I don't know how much I got to tell you this because I'm so passionate about the Cowboys. Man, I want a championship too. I've been sitting around for a long time. I remember saying we are the champions. And this ain't no old school saying, well, you know, coach is old school. He said, if we won things 35 years ago one way, and then we win 20 years later the same way, and every year in between that, in these last 30 years, when we had a DNA somewhat like we had when we did win, we had our best seasons. That must mean something. Tony Romo's best season, his most efficient season. Dez Bryant won his best season and he had less numbers. But his efficiency was off the charts. When they were balanced and a physical team. And their defense was better that year. Matter of fact, that was the best defense Tony Romo had in his time here. And I'm not bragging about Tony Romo. It's just facts. In the 12-5 seasons that Mike McCarthy had here, the defense in the first year of the 12-5 was the best defensive ranking, and that's the game we lost because we had 14 penalties, and we act like we wouldn't run the football. Yeah, we putting it in the air, but ain't scoring no points. Somebody could bring up a stat that says what 40-yard with the quarterbacks that threw the ball 40, 45 times in the playoffs, what their record was. But if we tell people that their record was way below 500, y'all still say that's how you got to win. In a so-called passing league, the teams that playing that's in the championship every year are teams that run the ball more than they pass. What's a passing league? Because you got a lot of losing teams. Man, I'm gonna say this again, and I know I'm passionate, and I may be gonna, and I know I'm this on the bottom of this screen right here. This is what's gonna win us a championship. We're gonna go as far as this defense is gonna take us. And let me tell you, if you get too pass happy, what you're gonna do to your defense. One, you're not gonna set a physical tone to your defense. Two, your defense is not going to be ready for running games because 9 times out of 10, most teams that are passing teams, their run defense is horrible. Because what you practice against all day. You don't practice against a team that's going to come out, the mentality get after you. You practice against teams that want to be finesse. And I've told you this. Y'all can check it back. And I keep saying history repeats itself. And you'll be better off having some semblance to history and building upon that than trying to make new history. It's almost like you're trying to win the lottery. But you may have the capabilities of making $1 million just working for it. But you won't work because you want to hit the lottery. Because you say it can't happen. We play in the best conference in the National Football League. And in this conference NFC East has won more Super Bowls than any other conference in football. And you can check the record. The team in this conference, in this division, that has the best defense, 90% of the time they win the division. This conference, this division, has won more Super Bowls running the football than any other division in football. But then has some dynamic offenses and quarterbacks that have done some dynamic things, but they were built off defense, balanced offenses. And that don't mean they wasn't exciting. But with this schedule you got, this schedule that the Cowboys got, if we're not a balanced, physical, disciplined, mentally tough, and this coaching staff don't build a true identity of those things, we're going to get our ass kicked. But we go in there thinking that we're going to out-athlete people. We're going to outdo these people because we them boys. And since they play with the Cowboys, they playing against guys that's in, they line up. There ain't nobody on the other side over there. We playing against dummies, bags. And just because we got Pickens and Lamb, no, they can't double team us, and they got us one-on-one, we automatically going to win the battle. I don't even like this. See, and Schottenheimer. I don't know if you're gonna have a on X. I don't know if you out there on YouTube. Now I know I may lose some people. I would love for the people to not only join, like on the subscribe to me on my X platform, but subscribe to go to my YouTube channel and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Coach Mar Real Talk, because this is the realest talk I can tell you, man. I don't like the narrative that people are trying to put in our heads to get us off of what makes us successful. And I can see us going right back down the same rabbit hole again. This is why they keep pushing you to go down that rabbit hole. Y'all might not be able to hear me the whole time. I was so upset I forgot to bring my microphone close. But I hope we don't go down that rabbit hole again. I might have messed the whole live show up, but hey, I'm gonna look at it. I just hope it ain't messed up, because I was so upset, man. I was so upset before I got on here, man, because I was just talking to some friends of mine, man, and they were just killing me about this. And some people might have been out there trying to tell me, say, Coach, but man, we're going down this rabbit hole again, man. And I said this on my live the other day, and I don't know, John, you cannot allow people. Well, I put it like this. I live on this preferences. I don't take criticism from people I can't get advice from. And I'm very leery about who I take praises from. Ain't no reason why, because the Stephen A. Smith, when he talks about, man, oh man, they got it, man. I got to start wearing Cowboy stuff because they just so good. I'm scared of them now. Don't you know that's fool's gold? You think he's scared of you now? You think all these pundits that were talking trash to us, all of a sudden, they done got back on our bandwagon because we got one guy that had an awful year last year with a team that won games? And y'all want to say, listen, man, somebody they're going to sit a comment out there going to say, well, Coach talking trash about Pickens. No, it ain't. That's a spade. Can he be great? Yes. I wish I could take what clip what Tony Dungy said about what he would tell Pickens coming in and what he told Schottenheimer, and he said the exact same thing I would have said. And I thought, and I wish I could clip it because some people gonna think I'm lying. He would tell Pickens, I am so happy that you were here. I love that you're here, and we're gonna want you to get a chance to show your talent. But you're not the star here. I need you to fill a role and do whatever this team needs to do for the win. And he also said, if he doesn't do that, and he causes any problems, I'll cut bait. Because the problem's going to be way more than any catches he get. But, man, we falling for the banana in the tailpipe, people, man. And I see it already. Some of my best content creators, man, are talking about, man, this is what, this is what the team strength is. What is this? If this team strength is not in their defense, we're not going to win a championship, man. I'll put it like this. And it's crazy when you can see it on other teams that just played in the Super Bowl, and our fans still think you got to do it different. Philadelphia, Brown just had barely over 1,000 yards receiving. Had less of a year than he had on his Pro Bowl season that he was all pro. Numbers went down. Smith, his numbers went down. He didn't even get 1,000 yards receiving this year. Barkley runs for 2,000 yards. Jalen Hurts' numbers goes down. They don't even have the number one offense in the league. But they had number one defense. And they got the Lombardi Trophy. And who was the real MVP of the Super Bowl? The defense. Kansas City didn't even have 1,000-yard receiver this year. Kansas City. But they got back to the Super Bowl because what? They had the number 2 defense in the NFL. And when you got a great defense, whatever your offense is, it makes it look explosive. When you got a great defense, you score 24 points. People think you're going to score 50. And regardless of Kansas City or Philadelphia, when they needed to run the football, when they was committed to doing, not like they was in the Super Bowl, they didn't even try it. And Andy Reid lost another Super Bowl because he made that decision. I bet you get back again, he ain't going to do that. Because he went past happy against Philadelphia. Philadelphia says, anybody in the Super Bowl, if you go one-dimensional, man, we in the Super Bowl, man. We got one of the best defenses. You go one-dimensional against a good defense, they going to eat your butt alive. And you could think, well, we got that. Listen, man. I had a friend one time a long time ago, and y'all gonna say, well, this is old school, whatever. But they were Jan Fox was throwing for 300-yard games back a long time ago. And he had 3 Hall of Fame wide receivers on the team. Jefferson, Joyner, and Kellen Winslow. And a great running back, Muncie. Every time they got in the playoffs, they got slowed down. So when you start playing better teams in the playoffs, you're not going to run up and down the field. Because they're good for a reason. Because most times the good teams get there because they got great defenses. Man, people, giving Dak time to throw the ball is not just because you got time to throw the ball that's going to mean that you're going to stay in rhythm. This offense has been talking about for the longest, staying on track, staying in rhythm. It's hard for me to get y'all to understand that. A lot of people, that when we talk about the nuances of football on rhythm, I could always say like this. It's about like the timing in your car. When your timing in your car is off, when your spark plugs are not firing off in the right spot and your car gets choppy, it's made no difference how good the engine is. If the timing is off, things are not flowing right and firing off at the right time, you can have the best engine in the world and not get the best performance. And when you get against other cars, you get out there running and racing with other cars, you get out there with other great cars, and some of the cars might not have the biggest engine than you, and you lose. What do you do when you lose that race? You got a better engine, better parts. They don't have as good as parts, but your timing was just off. What do you do when you lose? You just throw the engine away and go buy another one? And don't think about how to adjust the engine to fix the timing issues? And guess what happened? At the end of the year, when you get into the big race against the better cars, the better technicians, you lose again. Because you're not paying attention to the details of what makes your team work. You got a physical, dominant right tackle if you run the football. Because if you run the football with Terrence Steele instead of a physical presence, nobody will even touch your quarterback. Now, everybody want to talk about this. How many times people sacked down the last 5 games of the season? How many pressures did Steele look? And I want people to look that up. When they started running the ball, gave him a physical presence, just tell me how many sacks we got from Steele. The last 4 or 5 games, nobody will even talk about Steele. Last 6, 7 games, nobody ain't talking about Steele. We had one of the best running attacks, but we had quarterback, and we did have the defense to close the deal. You got Tyler Smith in here that you drafted as a mauler. And Luke Texas in this chat here, we could see during the first part of the year, he was starting to look like a little finesse. Because you built the finesse into his game by playing finesse football. You want to get Tyler Guyton back to playing like what you drafted him for? Give him some things like he showed in training camp where he can lay his hands and lay his body on people, where he can get a physical dominance on a guy. Then he could dance. Then he could play that dancing role. Don't let him sit up there and let people attack him. Give him the confidence by letting him attack. And every time you did that, he played better. Booker is an attacker. BB is an attacker. It goes back to what I said about the other day, man, about talent. I'm going to keep giving you these things about, y'all need to pick up on these things. If you think you got some talent on this team, I don't think in the last 5 years we did 4 things that you got to do with talent. You want to talk about Pickens. You can bring CeeDee Lamb. You can bring Pickens in here. He's a talented guy. There's not a coach in this league that can make talent. Only the moms and dads can do that. But the things that coaches got to do and the organization got to do with talent is, 1, we got to motivate that talent. We got to motivate that talent where he fits a role and is motivated to do anything that the team needs him to do to be able to be successful. We got to motivate him to be a team player and to play the best of his, and whatever we do, be the best at that. Number 2, all thing a coach and organization do with talent is refine their talent. That means coach them up. Whatever they're lacking, I expect Tyler Guyton to be better this year for what he did last year. Because he was just a rookie. Refine their talent. Pickens. If Pickens got a problem with running certain routes, the receiver coach needed to refine this young monster, his talent. Refine his talent so he could be a better blocker, a better route runner. The third thing that coaches and the organization do with talent is hold it accountable. No, we ain't hold our defense accountable. I don't hear nobody even talking about our defense. We worry about if the offense is going to win. We worry about what Dak going to win a Super Bowl. This ain't no dinner. I'm not getting bad on Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons is the head of this defense. When you going to win a Super Bowl for us, Michael Parsons? They don't score, they don't win. I'm laying it at your feet. LT took the charge. Michael Singletary took the charge. Aaron Donald took the charge. Chris Jones took the charge. I want a defense to say, damn what the quarterback do. We're going to win the goddamn championship. Ray Lewis took the charge. He had a quarterback that probably couldn't play in high school. But guess what? He said, get on my back. Give us 10 points, 17 points, and we win the Super Bowl. That's what kind of guys I want on defense. That's what I want down there. When I sit down here, balance and defense. That's what I want. I don't want nobody talking about, man, we need to get some weapons. And I play in defense. Oh, we need to get some wide receivers. They don't score, they don't win. That's the kind of dogs I want. I want people that is making standards, setting standards, not talk about what if or what I can get. And I think this guy's great, but I ain't scared to challenge him. Because I see some greats do it. Defense is a weapon. We're talking about we want to have a running game. It's so crazy with me with this team. We'll pick up. We'll just say yeah. We'll settle for anybody with a run game, but we ain't gonna settle for anybody with a wide receiver. And in the run game, if a guy don't run for 30 yards on every carry, we're gonna say, well, he ain't explosive. That ain't what we don't want him. If you would have gave Rico Dowdle the carries you gave him the last 6 games, and he would have had Dak Prescott at quarterback, you may have won a little bit more games. But you ain't winning a lot of games because your defense wasn't dominant. And I ain't talking about Zimmer. That's not shooting down Zimmer, but the defense wasn't dominant. And I never like a defense to talk about what the offense did and what the offense need to get some explosives, where the offense need to get some weapons. Those defenses are. I don't even want to go and say what I want to say. This is how we're gonna win championship. And I'm gonna say this, and I might not be everybody liked. My channel may not even grow. And yes, I need to get some music. I'm gonna get some music and all that, but this Coach Marv real talk. And I'm gonna get it because Boss always told me, Boss Cowboy always told me, say, hey man, the presentation is what is important. That's what you guys show the respect to the fans for the presentation. I know I need to upgrade my presentation, and I'm gonna get with him to help me upgrade my presentation. But right now, I'm passionate. We're going as far as the defense takes us. And our defense is only going to get prepared to go far is by working with a balanced physical presence offense. You control the game with the running game. You score points in the passing game. Now I know some people will say, Coach Marv, you fooling us, or you got us messed up now, Coach. Well, you got us messed up now. That's what we trying to score points. No, you control the game with the running game, and you score points in the passing game. That don't mean you got to control the game and try to score the points in the passing game. If y'all want a quick strike offense, let's be a quick strike. Let's be a strike offense. When CeeDee Lamb catch the ball, let's get him down the field. I hope they unleash CeeDee Lamb so he can be the athletic receiver that I know he can be. I want to see him doing jump balls. I want to see him doing acrobatic catches down the field, down the middle, because that's what he came out of Oklahoma doing. I don't want to see him throwing swing passes and let him run sweeps or stops across the middle with people teeing off on him. I don't want to see that dumb offensive passes offense we had for the last 3-4 years that didn't utilize the talent that we had in the right way. How many jump balls y'all have seen CeeDee Lamb go get? Amari Cooper said, man, I can do jump balls too. And they would throw him no jump balls his whole time he was here. Tobin came out of college, going to get the ball after they go to you get here, he's running stop routes and curl routes. And what kills me, people say they watch film and they say they didn't see that. And then we say we want separation. Let me tell you something. I've been knowing football for a long time. There's very few separation in routes that we call stop. Routes that's not crossing, nines, post corners, routes that are maybe a drag, a dig, but routes that's turning their back towards the goalpost, comebacks, stops, curls. Your separation numbers is going to look horrible. That's just like when you get a running back and we talking about his yards per carry and he runs the ball inside the goal line every time. He gets 3 or 4 carries inside the goal line and inside 2-3 yard line. Oh, well, he get two carries down there and get 1 yard a carry. It kills his yard per carry. So when we look at yards per carry, we be like, oh man, he was a short yard runner. We put him in to run the short yards. So if he get 1 or 2 yards, that's going to kill his yards per carry. The same thing I'm telling you about when you run it, curls, stops, all that. And then when teams are sitting on your curls and stop, no, you ain't going to have no separation. Take away the curls and stop routes and then do your calculation of separation. People don't tell you that, what coaches do. You take out the lease and say, hey, I can't judge you on a play that is not going to be that way. So what we used to do is we take out the ones and the ones that are designed for you to get total separation, we judge you on those. That's when we judge a running game, a running back. We take out his longest run. And if he got 2 long runs, if he got over 20 carries, we take out the 2 longest runs, and then we judge what he making yards per carry in the other 18. That's going to give you a more of an idea of how effective he was, or if our run game was effective. It's not effective if you got a 90-yard run in there and then you got the other 20 carries and he only getting 2 yards per carry. And then we must say, oh man, the guy, man, he getting 5 yards a carry. Context of numbers. Coaches have a stat sheet, and out there, a stat sheet, they put context to those numbers. But please, people, let's don't fall for the in the tailpipe. And I'm depending on y'all. I'm depending on my Cowboy Nation to say, hey man, remember the plan. A physical style offense that we're going to use to be able to be a explosive offense. There's 2 keys to that I want to see. It's 2 improvements that I want to see off the bat for my defense and offense. 2. And there'll probably be some more, but these 2 things. If you've been watching the games, you know there's 2 things about our team, 1 offense, 1 defense thing that has always been a hindrance of us and has hurt us a great deal. And if you want to talk about the offense, The offense, we didn't have a lot of big plays, explosive plays. Because I don't think our offense was designed to have explosive plays. And Schottenheimer runs the passing game he ran with Russell Wilson in Seattle. You're going to have people going deep. You're going to have deep crosses. You're going to have the ball on the move. Play action is not built. If you run a play action, now I'm going to give you a little football now. If you run a play action play, it is built for the receivers to be on the move for the pass when the play action. When you run a play action play, the worst thing you can run is a stop route or a curl route, because if the defense reacts to the play action, when you run a route there's a stop and a curl or something right there that stops the feet of the receiver, the defense can recover quickly, and sometimes they may drop and take away that read you got, which makes Dak have to hold the football. Running routes with 2 or 3 routes. If people out there talking about they've been watching film, how many times you see routes where all the routes end at the same time? That makes it so hard on Dak, because his first read, he don't even have time to go to the second read because that route ended the same time the first route ended. Now he's stuck with the ball. How many tight throws? You know, they did a stat on Dak Prescott, said he was the best tight window thrower in the league. And everybody took that as because, oh, well, he's a tight window thrower because his receivers ain't getting no separation. He is a tight window thrower because the offense was designed so dumb that the receiver, the route concepts made windows tight. You mean tell me San Francisco can always have receivers running wide open down in certain places, and they already tell you Shanahan designs this thing where Purdy don't even have to think. The concept is he knows where it's going to come over based off the concept he's running. And he always got these guys on the move. He's not going to take their legs away from them by throwing them curls and stops and slants. How many times did we attack the middle of the field? Do I need to go back on Twitter? You know who made a great show on that? Do I need to go back on Twitter and repost what Logic Cowboy talked about, when he was talking about McCarthy and how he just got to the point where he just converted back to what he was doing in Green Bay by throwing short routes, outside routes, and wouldn't attack the middle of the field? If Boss Cowboy is listening to this show, or he listens to, can Boss Cowboy and Amp Sports tell people how many times all season long did I talk about attacking the middle of the field, and how many times we attacked the middle of the field we were successful? Throwing the ball to the running backs, we were successful. If we throw the ball to the running backs and we get Jake Ferguson back running seam routes and doing the stuff that he was doing good at, and CeeDee Lamb does what he does, there ain't no 1,000 yards for George Pickens. But he gonna be productive, and he gonna win us some games. Just right. But he may not have no astronomical numbers, but his numbers are going to look magnified if we win in games. And if we can get him to understand that, if we can get a physical presence to this offense, and if we can correct 2 things. One, we can get some explosive plays. Maybe Pickett's going to help us get explosive plays. Maybe Turpin going to help us get explosive plays. Because every game that we had explosive plays by Turpin, we won. Or we had a good year. It's just that you got to have explosive plays sometimes, so you don't have to continue to always try to force. And because what defenses want you to do is they want you to not have explosive plays, because they feel if we make you, well, put it like this. If I was coaching against the Cowboys, as sloppy as they are with penalties and or how they gonna blow up or sometime, or how they ain't gonna stick to something. Only thing I'm gonna tell my defense is don't get no explosive plays. They're gonna they'll mess up. Or they'll be doing something, they'll go off and do some mess up on first down. They'll go first down and throw the ball and throw a 9 pattern and throw it incomplete, and then we're gonna have behind the sticks, and then they get a penalty, and then they'll be punting. Because they don't stand in front of the chains. Schottenheimer got to prove all that. He got the engine. He got to make sure he fine-tunes this thing. So explosive plays by the offense, I need that. I got to have explosive plays. I want it from the running attack as well as the passing attack. So you said, Coach, how you get explosive plays out of the running game? You got to have a dynamic back. Yeah, you got to have a dynamic back. And I'm going to go right back to again what I was saying about mentality. If you run the ball just to say I ran the ball and we just doing that to get our runs in, hell no, you ain't going to have no explosive plays. Think about your kids. If they just doing their homework just to say I got by, I just did the homework. If somebody cooking you a meal, they're saying, I'm just cooking a meal just because I'm supposed to cook a meal and I'm just putting something together. Is it going to be dynamic? Is it going to be explosive? Is it going to be perfect? Is it going to be, are they going to learn some of their homework? Is the meal going to be special? No, because it's not a top priority to you. You just doing it just to be doing it. And if you lead your team in a way of that's the way you go about your business, we practice pass, and then we get to the end of the game, we say, oh yeah, we need to get some more attempts. We need to run the ball. Well, as soon as somebody stops us on one run, we go right back to passing the ball. So what is the mentality of your team about running the football? And if your mentality of your offense has not a physical mentality about running the football, what you think your defense is going to have about stopping the run? That mentality ain't different. Ain't no two teams. If your mentality of your offense is soft, if it's not a priority, that's how you're going to treat it. I've coached players. I have played on teams. If we feel that the coach is this is something if a player feels that if you really this ain't your pet peeve and you ain't really serious about that, he gonna do it just to get by. And the stuff that he know you serious about, he gonna bust his butt on that. I have played football. The stuff the coach didn't realize, like, okay, we get back. Man, let's get by this stuff. But the stuff that we thought, hey, man. I played college football in a run type offense. And we threw passing plays, waggles. Yeah, you blocked it. But, hey, man, you got to get that block. We was like, hey, but we ran 24 power. You better do that guy doggone right. Or you better be sitting on the sideline. The running plays, you better run them right. And you better do it with a lot of gusto. Because we practice for those plays to break long runs. We practice like for those plays to be big plays. So if we want big plays out of our running game, Philadelphia practices big plays out of those running games. That's why they had receivers blocking. They had people blocking downfield because they went at all 10 guys were out there going at. Even Jalen Hurts, when he handed the ball off, he ran his fake out. All 10 guys went out to try to get a piece of a guy and stay where they block because they practiced every run game, every run play like it was going to go the distance. We practice run plays just to say we hand the ball off to get 2 or 3 yards. Yes, I need explosive plays in the passing game and the running game. And that's the one thing I want from offense, but the one thing I want from defense, and Boss Cowboy, Air Sports, and all of them can tell you this. I wish I could print out. I am going to do another live screen. I'm talking about my keys to victory. Offense and defense. But one of them is the biggest one, and it's the biggest thing in the NFL today. If you want a key to victory. You talk to any coach, and I guarantee you, I ain't coaching in the NFL, but you talk to any coach, they're going to tell you that their defense can't give up explosive plays. That kills your defense. That's like in basketball. We got the playoffs in basketball. You could be a great defensive team. But when a team get the ball, a turnover, and they get a fast break and get a dunk, it kills your defensive stats. And the defense in football, you could be playing great defense, then you give up a 50-yard run. How many times that happened to us? Barkley had 150-some yards in the second game against us from Philadelphia. Until he got a 60-some yard run. He got two runs for over 40 yards. But we had him shut down like we shut him down the first game. The first game, he didn't get 100 yards. But boom, we give him a big play. I went back and looked at our run stats in every game. You know who killed us in our run stats? Quarterbacks with scramblers. 2 carries, 40 yards. 28 yards on 3 carries. That's why I run. That's why this is why our yards per carry was so big. Again, take out all the long runs, and then we controlled the run game. But we gave up too many big plays. Kansas City, and I've been saying this stat and look it up, people. This is remarkable. Kansas City, when they won back-to-back Super Bowl, the second Super Bowl they won, they gave up 3 plays over 30 yards in the whole season. Y'all hear what I just said, man? That's why their defense was top defense. That's why their offense could go 2 or 3 games, go 3, 4 games and not score a single point in the second half. That's why Patrick Mahomes can be good, but he don't have to be stressed out to be perfect. And he can be effective. Man, I'm saying this, man. Not Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, John Elway. Great careers. But their organization and their fan base wrapped themselves around to them and said, we got to put a team together to help them win a championship. A team. And that's what the coaches did. And in the years that they won championships, they won all world. The teams took their pressure off of them to win a championship. Let's put the emphasis on other people other than Dak to win a championship. Because I ain't worried about Dak doing his job. It's the others I'm concerned about. It's the others that's hiding behind Dak. Because sooner than it don't happen, they already talking about how much he getting paid. They're already laying a narrative already. And like I said to you, man, I didn't finish this point. I'm going to finish this and I'm going to leave it at that. I don't take advice from people I don't take criticism from people I don't can't get no advice from. Stop going out here and getting ideas from ESPN, Fox, and all these other pundits out here that don't give a damn about your Cowboys, and you taking their advice that they're telling you about how good you are, or about what you need to do, or how you need to play it, or what your person is, and then you bring that back to Cowboy land, to the real content creators, the real Cowboy fan. You bring that back to the family, and you argue with your family members about some opinion that somebody don't care nothing about you gave you. Because most of the time, the opinion that they gave you is all to set you up for failure. So what you listening to them for? And what you arguing with your own family for about somebody's opinion that you got from somebody else? And they only putting seeds out there for one. They put seeds out there for Pickens to be a problem. Yeah. Those are the ones that telling you, that's pushing the buttons and say, oh, he going to be great. Oh, he going to get that bag. Oh, he's going to be better than anything. Oh, he going to have 1,000 yards. Oh, he going to do. Those are the ones setting up the seeds. And some of these fans that we got here are imposters. That we think are Cowboy fans, but they just setting up seeds to get us off track so we can say, well, I told you so. Like Lucy and Charlie Brown. They got the ball out there. Now we running. And as soon as we run off doing something else, they move the ball and whoop. Then we go again. But defense is a weapon. And the mantra is not balance and defense, you're not going to win a Super Bowl. And you can say I'm negative. You can say I'm crazy. But watch what I tell you. It's been 30 years, and we ain't had that mantra yet. With both of them. So, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Schottenheimer. I know y'all out there watching the analytics and the algorithms of what people talking about. Well, worry about less of the algorithms and go back and check the history of how Dallas and Dak and all them and how they've been, how successful they are when they play a certain style of football. Get those algorithms out. And those algorithms might not fit, they may not fit your fan base's need for excitement. But they may put you another Super Bowl trophy in your treasure chest and they'll get over it. The fans will get over it. Hey, man, I'm a Laker fan. Nobody like the triangle offense. Everybody talking about that's boring. But when boring to win 3 championships and go at 3 championships with 5 championships and playing 6 finals, 7 finals. Wasn't boring. That wasn't boring. That boring. So, hey man, uh, I wanted to put something out here right quick. I appreciate all y'all that's in the chat, man. And I'm not ignoring you at all, man. I appreciate all these people in the chat. I'm gonna look at the chat, what name, but I want to coach not he ain't got monetized yet. It's some equipment I need, man, and some things that I need to try to help this podcast get this show get better. Cameras, and stuff like that, man. And if you like the content, if you have ideas for content, you have things that you want to talk about, things that you said, Coach Marv, what about this? And I want you to go over there. What you feel from a player, coaches, or coach's point of view about this and that, or what's going on about this, or what your feelings about that. Put that into the chat. Put that in the comments. I try to read the comments. Um, Reach out to me on Facebook at Coach Marv, Coach Marv on Facebook. Um, and you'll see my logo on there for my YouTube channel, Coach Marv Real Talk. Uh, uh, Send me a email. My email is on my Coach Marv Real Talk account, man. Send me an email and say, Coach, hey, I'm so and so. I love to hear from you, man, because I love for y'all to help me make this show even better, man. Like I said, I give all the credit to my guys. I was on their shows, man. Boss Cowboy, looking forward to the live streams or the games, man. JC Cowboy, Big Time Show, Law Nation, all those people, man. And I know Keystone Amp. I know I'm probably missing some people, man, but I'm only here because those people motivated me and gave me an opportunity to talk on their show. So that's my cash app down at the bottom. To me, if you feel say that you like this content and you want to send something out to me, man, I'll greatly appreciate it. If something to help me to build the show till I get to the point where I get enough. But right now, liking, comment, and subscribe, man, and sharing this, man, so I can get to a point where I can get your super chats in and look at your super chats and build this show into a real talk show, man. We're gonna talk about real issues and the soul of what the Cowboys need to do. We're not gonna be one of the ones gonna be talking. And listen, I support all that, but I'm gonna be a realist, and I'm gonna talk about some things, and I'm gonna show you later on if those things are going the way is what. But the first OTAs is coming out. Hey man, you got to get it over to them that we got to be a humble, hungry football team. And if I was Schottenheimer, my first statements would be to my team is we're not a good football team. And I know somebody gonna say that's crazy. We are what our record was last year, 7-10. Not saying you don't want to win a championship, but we got to become a good football team. And the humbleness will keep us motivated and keep us on point. So that's what it makes no difference what you got. We're not a good football team until we become a good football team. So if you send something out to support the channel, man, I will appreciate that. If you hit cash at me something, any donation would be great, greatly accepted. Um, like I said, man, getting back to the comments, man. Um, Man, I see some of my people in here. Some people have been following me for a while, man, and I I, I really appreciate all your comments, man. Instead, uh, we like I said, comments about um, if we focus on Pickens by the end of the season, we will lose. We can't focus on Pickens, and he's so right. We cannot, Jay. We cannot focus. We just gotta. And Jay is so right, man. Um, and I think what Jay is trying to say, and I think what everybody needs to say, man, we just we want Pickens just to fit a role. We don't want him to come in here to be a swift arm and knife and to be a see. That's why I think, man, we got to be very careful, CD, it got to be very careful when we start calling people number ones. When you call a guy number one, that means he fits more than one role. He is dynamic. He is, yes, he got some certain things he do well, but that's a very heavy crown. And I don't want this kid to come in here and say he's a number one. I want him to come here and say, hey man, I'm going to fit a role that they need, and my role going to grow as the season goes, and I'm going to be dynamic at whatever role I got. But I don't want him thinking like he's a number one and saying, okay, what if he's not getting the football? What if he feel like he's open and the ball goes to CeeDee Lamb? What if he feel like he's open and the ball goes to Jake Ferguson? Is he going to come with the mentality and say, hey, man, I'm a one? That's what ones do. And if he was a true one, he would have never been traded. That's not saying he's not a talented guy. That's not saying I don't like him. But that's what he's got to understand, other than pumping his head up, thinking that he's a one, he's great dual. What are we doing? There's a reason why he was traded. And what we have to get him to be is humble enough to know that and to do what he needs to do to make this team win, and he will gain his status back maybe one day as a one. But right now he's not. Because if he was doing all he could do, you don't think Metcalf and him would have been a great combination? So that's what Schottenheimer has to do. He has to embrace this young man with love to say that we want you here. But he has to humble this young man to understand that he has to gain his status. He has to work to get his status back. And the only way he's going to get his status back is he got to humble himself and fit a role. And sometimes that might not be on the field. So that's what I want. You know, that, I didn't want to go off on. I didn't want to go on a tangent with Pickens today, but that's where, and that's the truth. And I know that's not going to be a popular opinion with everybody. But this young man has to humble himself to fit a role. Because if it was all peaches cream what he was doing, he would still be in Pittsburgh. And he got to realize, regardless of what happened, that some of that's his fault. You ain't gonna say all of it, but some of it is his fault. And if he don't realize that, he gonna bring that same fault over to Dallas. Because some reason we think, because you're in Dallas, that that's gonna change because you're in Big D. The environment over here is worse than the environment there. Because you got people praising them like, we got people saying we're going to be the best duel in the NFL. You didn't sign a guy that was a free agent that had a contract dispute that said, I wanted to lead the team and I was a free agent and you signed him. You signed a player that they traded him to you. They got rid of him. There's a reason. And when he understands that and he brings his talent to the forefront and he understands his humbleness to be able to do what he needs to do, his job, his niche, he can go on to be a great wide receiver. But if he don't do that, if he still got that ego thing, or he don't feel that he had no fault, it's going to rear his head again. And that's point blank. That's life, people. Football ain't no different than life. You could be in a relationship and you feel like, oh, I ain't did nothing. And the relationship where you say, oh, I still ain't did nothing. And you know some of it was your fault. And you leave there and you don't admit it. You don't grow at all from it. And guess what? The next person calling you the best thing since sliced bread. Then you like, all right, you go right back to do the exact same thing again. I think the guy's a talent. But he's not the man here. The man here is getting $30 million a year, plus he earned his $30 million a year. So he didn't get it by happenstance. He earned it. He put in number one receiver numbers year in, year out. You ain't do that, Pickens. So if I got to call you number one, and that's why I get upset with CD. If I got to call you number one for you to be okay with it so we don't have no problem, I got a problem with that. You don't get number one because you talented. There's a lot more to go than number one than just being talented. And I'm going to say it again. All y'all going to be saying, well, he just killing Pickens. I'm calling a spade a spade. And we pump this guy up and not hold him accountable. What I say, what you got to do with talent, motivate them. You got to motivate this young man to be a team player. You got to refine whatever he's doing skill-wise. You got to refine that. You got to hold his ass accountable. For not utilizing his talent to the utmost because of attitude. He gonna kill his talent because he ain't mentally focused to do what he had to do to express it. Then you got to put him in the right position for his talent to display, to shine. Whatever he does well for this team, that's his role. And he got to accept that. And winning is his only job. If he'll give a one catch or 10. And if he accept that, and he allows that talent to grow, and he allows that talent to shine, and he gets the mental to go with that talent, ooh, yes. The stars are limited, ain't no ceiling. But it might not be in Dallas. But I can tell you one thing. He can have a great numbers year. And we don't win, and he shows one little sign of attitude, they ain't going to pay him no place else. He can have okay stats and flash his talent and not have, he can have 56 catches, 60 catches for 900 yards, but 800 some yards, and flash here and there, do the things we need him to do. and don't be a problem. Play a role, be a great blocker, do it all, and not no great numbers, not no astronomical numbers, and we win a championship, somebody give him $30 million a year. It's not gonna be Dallas, but somebody else will pay it. But he can have 100 catches and 1,000 yards and show one little back up, and we lose in the first round. People say, hey, he ain't no game changer. He's not a difference maker. He's a guy to put up numbers, but his mentality don't bring winning. His spirit don't bring winning. And if he understands that, his talent will shine. And I think the kid can do it, but ain't nobody need to be nice to him. Love him for being here, but motivate him, refine his talent, hold him accountable, and put him in the right spots for his talent to shine. That's all coaches can do with talent. And if you don't do these things and make him fall into a culture where we're not going to accept nothing else but that, and you giving your job 100%, it can turn out to be a problem. All right, people. Thank you so much, man. Like I said, man, if you enjoy the content, man, I appreciate this being talking, man, and going out here and saying stuff to you, man. Please share this with your uh, with your media sources, man, and put a comment out there how well you like Coach Marv taught me. I may have been a little rant today, but I had to get those things off, um, and hopefully we'll get together and talk about something. But I just want to make sure, man, understand that hey, that's my cash app down the bottom there. If you want to send something to support the channel until we get to the point we get monetized and we can do this, remember what I said here. Uh, Remember this what I said here. Defense balance. Being balanced on our offense and defense is what's going to win this championship. We're going as far as the defense take us, man. And I think our defense is equipped to do it. We just got to build a mindset of the defense is going to win the championship. Defensive weapon. And I'm challenging Michael Parsons. You win us this championship, Michael Parsons, with your unit. You lead your unit to be one of the best units, run stopping, pass defense, one of the best defenses in this league. And you say, hey, I don't care what CeeDee Lamb them do on that side. Just give us something. We're going to win it. Get that mentality, sir. And I think we can. We'll do it. Thank you again. Salute. Until next time. Coach Marv out. Coach Marv Real Talk.